Aiden. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude. Fucking little fucking gems everywhere, dude. I was like,
half the time we don't even do it either. We're just like, hey, what do you want to talk about today? And then we just start going and we just start rapping. Yeah.
all right, man. No, I was like loving the episode too. I was loving it. I'm like, dude, there was a lot of like fucking like great knowledgeable points
Appreciate it.
that
Thank you.
you guys were putting out. So thank you. Thank you for putting that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, but all right, let's see if I can do this. Alex, this is our first podcast episode of the year, right?
Yes, sir. First one of the year.
Oh, yeah,
19
Joel,
days in.
Joel, pat yourself on the
let's
back,
do
Joel.
it.
Yeah.
I'll set the tone, baby.
Yeah. set that motherfucking tone.
Yeah. Sorry, let me turn on my
Oh, you got to turn on the neons. You got to turn on the neon light.
It's all good. That'll be all
Oh,
right.
okay. I thought you were turning on the neon light. My bad.
Nah, I was putting the fan on. It gets hot in here over time. So.
Oh, no shit. All right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Built to Rise podcast. I am sick as a dog, but we are here. We are live. We got all right now. Mercado, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep. Mercado,
okay.
like the market.
Like, I have no idea what market that is. Is that like a San Diego thing or something?
Well, it's Spanish for mercado means market. So like whenever you guys go by like a Spanish store, it'll say like supermercado, which is like supermarket.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn, you got a nice accent there, buddy.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, like, what's your background?
Yeah, I was born in Puerto Rico and raised in Pennsylvania, and then I moved to the West Coast. So I've been out here half my life.
I wouldn't live in Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, man, it's
a little rough out there.
Good.
Yeah, go Birds! Go Birds!
Yeah. No hate, I love my Philly, but not gonna live there though.
No, yeah, I gotcha. So let me just do the intro real quick, like I always do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Built to Rise podcast. Today we are joined by Joel Mercado, painting business owner, coach, and now you're not doing painting anymore, correct? You're kind of venturing off into a whole new thing now, right?
Yeah, it's a little interesting, right? It's I still have a painting company. It's in Florida right now, and a pest control company. But I just recently exited in November of this past year of my first painting company I ever built. So that was fun.
Congratulations on that, man. That's awesome.
Congrats, by the way. That's huge, man.
Thank you.
That's always the goal for like business owners to like get it to like a certain point and then be like, okay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but quick question before we even start. On a scale of 1 to I hate money, how bad are painters nowadays with sales?
Honestly, if you would have asked me this 7 years ago, I would say horrible. But right now, man, the game's changing. Like a lot of people are really stepping up their game. They're doing a lot of research. They're joining a lot of coaching programs. I think the trades are changing very quickly, and then sales is moving quick as well. So to be honest with you, I mean, the people that I keep seeing, they're working on it. They're not at the level where they need to be, but of course, I think people are finally in that mindset, like, hey, I need to start working on my sales game.
Do you see that with like all trades though?
100%.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing now too, I'm doing a lot of discovery calls since I'm coaching full time. I'm noticing a trend is that a lot of business owners that are hopping on my calls with me just don't even know their numbers. I have a guy who's doing millions of dollars a year, and he's just like, dude, I don't know where my money's at. I'm like, you're not tracking it, dude? He's like, no, I'm in construction. I'm doing ADUs. I'm doing this. I just don't know where the money's going. I'm like, let's start with job costing. Let's go back to the basics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild, man.
That's pretty scary to think about, where it's like, because a lot of, and tell me to stop if I get too personal, but a lot of these coaching calls, right, with these discovery calls, are these business owners still on the tools?
100%.
Yeah. So, I guess that piece of advice is like trying to veer off business owners to get off the tools. That way they can worry about the back market stuff. Correct.
100%, man. I just had one this morning where his biggest thing was he doesn't trust empowering his people. I'm like, well, listen, man, like, what are you doing in marketing? What are you doing here? And like, immediately I started breaking down numbers. He's like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, how are you ever going to grow your business if you don't have a structure? You don't know exactly what to teach your guys and what to do. So that's going to be extremely difficult to track. So yeah, it's
Have you ever tried to get a hold of customer support at a software company? Well, most of the time you're just sitting there talking to a bot or you're waiting for weeks. Not with FieldPulse. One of the many things that customers love about FieldPulse is their customer support. When you reach out, you're not talking to a bot or some outsourced call center. You're talking to real people who actually know the trades and understand how your business runs and know how to answer any questions you may have. FieldPulse team listens too. They're constantly updating and improving the platform based on their user feedback. So the software keeps evolving with your needs. And it's not just talk. Their support has been recognized across the boards with awards from G2, Capterra, Software Advice, GetApp, and Software World. If you want software backed by a team that actually has your back, check out fieldpulse.com and see why their customers love working with them.
It's more common than we think, right? Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah, man. So a lot of business owners I see nowadays, they really have that slow start the first year, but then they quickly realize, like, by year 2 or 3, they're like, man, I can't be on the tools, like, because either they saw the hiring process starts becoming a thing where they're still on the tools, they're hiring like guys, but once you make that jump into being a worker into a owner, dude, it's such a game changer. Such a game changer. I wish all my friends that are business owners, I wish, like, hopefully within the next couple of years, they don't have to worry about being on tools anymore. They could just sit back in San Diego, eating a fucking California burrito and just fucking live life. You know what I mean?
Hit me up.
Oh, man.
Come on over.
But, Joel, for the people that don't know who the hell you are, the people that live underneath the rock, talk a little bit about you and your journey, how this all really started for you.
Wow, man. I'll try to keep it short, because
keep it long, brother. Keep it long. We got time. We got time, brother.
That's cool. Like, most people, when they see me, they're like, "Oh, you're super young. What do you know about it?" I'm like, "I'm 41, baby. Like, I've gone through life, and I've done a lot in my lifetime, which has been a blessing for me, right?" So I'm originally from the East Coast, so I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and then raised in Pennsylvania. But I realized at the age of 20, I needed to get out of this small town that I was from. So I was right outside of Philadelphia. And, with a small town, have small mentality thought processes, right? Where you're doing dumb things, you're bored, there's not much to do. So I moved to Arizona when I was 20 years old. And then I got into gym sales. So that's where my sales career really kicked off. So I started learning how to do pre-sales, started learning how to build businesses from ground up. Like, I was selling gym memberships, knocking on doors before the gym even opened. Like, it was still dirt. So, I age myself every time when I'm on these calls. I'm like, let's talk about how long ago this was. I was still swiping people's credit cards on carbon paper.
Shit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There was no
That's
tap
old.
it.
That's old.
Yeah, like, I was knocking on doors, writing on contracts and putting in the back of my trunk, and then driving it to the supermarket where we were having a little stand where we were doing pre-sale memberships. That's how long ago my sales career started. So I learned how to door knock. I know how to, generate leads off of guerrilla marketing. So we didn't have Facebook advertisement. We had the yellow pages back then still. So, like, that's how bad the times were when we were trying to do sales. So fast forward, I got in the car industry. I also had a dojo. I trained a lot of professionals, did martial arts. So, like, I have a very eclectic background where I started learning people at a very young age, right? And so as we look at that, people think, oh, Joel's had these multiple contracting businesses. He's a coach now that I've been in the space for many years. I've actually only been contracting 7 years. So in these 7 years, I learned a lot in the contracting space. I implemented a lot of my sales that I've learned in my years and my coaching, and I implemented it in the contracting space. So I think it was almost like a superpower that I didn't have the mindset like contractors. So I feel like that helped me, actually. So I could see things that most contractors couldn't see because they were too involved in the tools. Also, certified hypnotherapist. People don't know that about me, but I am certified in hypnotherapy. Certified in neuropsychology and neuroscience. So I implement the psychology in the sales process, in the coaching and the leadership training in my contracting businesses. So that really shifts how I can really look at someone and make them do a mindset shift immediately, right? So I have a really weird background, I guess I could say, that most people don't hear in the contracting world. So it really attracts a certain type of person that wants to work with me. So that's kind of me in a quick nutshell in that. So yeah.
So like when you do your coaching calls, do you do like, you know, the timepiece, you know?
No, it's not that type of hit.
I'd be so impressed. Be like, yo,
yeah.
you're in the trades.
I mean, I could do that, but
Yeah.
no, that's not what we do.
Just veering off just for one quick second. You mentioned a dojo, and you said you train professionals. Name dropping? What was like?
Oh, okay, so
who are some names that you know that at least
Yeah.
maybe I know, or maybe Alex knows because we're big MMA fans too. So.
Sure, okay. UFC fighters. I worked with Ryan Bader, CB Dalloway, Benson Henderson. Henry Cejudo trained in one of the gyms I worked with a lot, but I didn't personally work with Henry Cejudo. I did a lot of stand-up, so Muay Thai. I taught a lot of stand-up for guys like that. Mesa PD, so Mesa, the police department, SWAT tactical training for Mesa in Arizona. So I did a lot of that stuff in my day. So I trained with a lot of guys like that. There's a guy who, his name is Carlos Farias. He was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor in my school, now has his own school because I'm not in the industry anymore. But yeah, man, I've worked with a lot of great people. And Master Turner, his name was Chaz Turner. You'll see him a lot in the corner in the UFC if you guys watched him. Chaz Turner was a good friend of mine too. So yeah, I've been around.
Joel, you're a certified badass, buddy. I need you to know that. You just list off a whole bunch of names of guys like, yo, dude, I don't want to fuck with this guy. But then at the end of the day, they all come from you. So technically, you know, you got fucking 2 weapons right here. Joel, I don't fuck with you, man. That's it. I would never fuck with you. But so obviously our audience is a mix of like different trades, right? We have plumbers, we have electricians, we have HVAC techs, we have everybody, you know. Realistically, right? Painting is one of those trades that is underrated almost. I feel like it's definitely an underrated trade, especially because, you know, me and Alex, we talked to Aiden a lot, and he speaks very highly of you. He was like, dude, you haven't had Joel on yet? What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Like, get this motherfucker on. Yeah. And but I guess like let's dive into painting a little bit, right? So like our audience, right? They can paint, right? They're on the tools. But the issue is the money. It's like, okay, I'm only getting X amount of dollars, but you know, my time is getting put into so much. How does the painter now become like start to slowly turn into like, okay, how do I get into more money, but also do this in less time? Like, is it hiring? Is it getting off the tools? Is it, you know, subbing out? There must be a whole bunch of other things. And plus, and also, this could kind of merge into other business owners, right? Other business owners and trades where they can. So, kind of walk me through on like that whole entire process, right?
So you got to remember, man, everything's goal specific. And when people come to me about painting, they think, oh, I've heard this in the industry. This is what I should be doing, right? And I'm like, no, you do what you think you need to do. So I've really hit people in a different mindset. Like, business is created based off of your needs, not what Joel said, not what Tiago or Alex or anybody else, right? Like, at the end of the day, you build a business based off your goals. Now, yes, there's processes, there's SOPs, there's a formula of sorts. But at the end of the day, you know, I got guys that say, I want to continue painting. Awesome. How do we build around that? Like, what are your goals, right? That's the first thing I always tell everybody. What's your goal? Is it financial? Is it more time? Is it that you want to paint a little bit and still make more money? What are your goals? And let's build that around that, right? So I would ask you, what do you see as a commonality in your audience and what they're trying to achieve?
Are you asking us? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Fucking, I'm on the hot seat. Go ahead, Alex.
I think Joel, just to hop in there, I think the sort of commonality is like, you know, they like the craft. They started off as a plumber, as an electrician, as an HVAC tech. They start off like because they love the craft. They like working with their hands. But I think they start to get to a point where it's like, it's too much stress. It's too much on them. And they want to kind of start to buy back their time and kind of build a team and build a company so that when they're 60, they don't have to keep working. You know, I think they want to start to like build something that they can, you know, either pass on to their family or something along that lines. So I think that's kind of the trajectory we see most people on. Even if they start off like really loving the craft, I think at some point it's your body ages. You know, you can't do construction's hard. It's hard on your body. You
Yeah,
can't do it forever.
100%.
So eventually you
So
have to have a kind of transition plan.
I love that. And I was interviewed by Andy Elliott like a couple years ago, and I told him the same thing. I said, "Hey, you know what I noticed about the trades is that there's a lot of great craftsmen, but they're not great business people. So how do we bring both worlds? Because my job is to teach them how to make more income and still love the quality of what they've done their whole life, which I respect in the utmost. Like, you know what I mean? Trades, a lot of people don't respect what we do, right?
100%.
And when you have a skill set as a craftsman, like that's years and years of knowledge, right? So the first thing I tell that guy, I go, you need to transfer your skill to the next person. So who's that person going to be? It's probably going to be your production manager, right? Like who can you promote that can oversee at such a high quality as you? You need to start converting them and start teaching them all of your skills. So you need to transfer skill. That's really all that leadership is in business development. So what I tell the craftsmen, no matter what type of person and what trade you're in, who's that next successor, right? We don't talk about that. Who's going to take over your skill set? When you start changing your mindset in that and you start going, okay, well, who's that next guy? Boom. Start going all in on them. Teach them everything you know, and then start developing them to be a leader. So that's why I say they should become a production manager of sorts or a crew lead of sorts, right? Or a tech, however you guys want to call them. They're going to become a leader. Then you start to convert yourself from being on the tools to now going into sales. Well, how do you get that? The cool part is when someone hires you, depending on what you're in, whether it's electrician, plumbing, and HVAC, I call that the urgent trades, the ones that they need you right now. Painting, not so much, right? So you need a different skill set when you're a painting sales rep, right? When it comes to electric, to plumbing, to HVAC, I see a commonality. They usually call you guys because they need you.
That's
It's
true.
something that's like, hey, it's urgent, it's important. I need to have you out here like within the next 24 hours. Where painting is like, yeah, I could wait 4 weeks. I could wait 6 weeks, right? So that play is different. There's a different formula on your scheduling. It's a different way you produce that work. Your goals are different because of that trade. When it comes to what you guys are talking about, I would say immediately now, you don't really need to know sales too much when it comes to something that's urgent and important. You need to be able to just effectively listen to the pain. So what I teach is, hey, just know how to ask the right questions. You know what I mean? Like, what are some things that you're looking for? Oh, I have a leak. Okay, that's a pretty quick pain point that you can find out. You don't need sales ability for that. You need to be able to just solve the problem and make sure you have a lead source that can get you more leads and you could solve the problem. Well, we already know if they're a craftsman, they could solve the problem. That's not a problem at all. The problem is the lead generation. Well, we got to teach you how to get the lead gen. What's your cost per lead? What's your average job size? We need to break that all down so we can create a formula based off your goals.
Think right with craftsmen, because I'm a plumber myself.
Okay.
With craftsmanship and like craftsmen and all that, they love doing the work. They love seeing it like getting put together and everything like that. I feel like, at least for me, a lot of people I've seen, they just like, oh, I just want to work because that's the only thing I know how to do. They're like kind of afraid to take that like step into like the sales and the lead generate and then the leads and like doing all this. It's like, how can I do this all at once? I guess the one piece of advice that you can give those guys that's like, oh, hey, you can keep on doing great work, but in order to do that, you need to move. You got to move to the next step.
100%.
So I guess the biggest piece of advice for guys doing that, they're like, their fucking works look so good, right? There's like all the pipes look beautiful and shit. But
fittings and
yeah, you know, like I'm getting all horny about it. Anyways, but
he's got a soldering gun out now.
Oh, no more solder anymore.
Okay.
Nah, they
Man,
do.
that tells you how long I've been out of the game. So.
It's called ProPress now. So it's like hydraulics that crushes the pipe.
Nice.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Little tidbit for there right there. But the biggest piece of advice that you can give for a craftsman that's like, I love doing my work. I don't think anybody can do it better than me, but I need to get more leads through the door.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the biggest advice again. In order for you to uphold that utmost quality still as you're building your business, right? You got two things. You have a decision. You're either going to need to have a decision that you hire a sales rep because you still love the craft and you don't want to remove yourself from the position. You only have two options. I either hire a salesperson or I train someone to take over my position.
And I don't think a lot of people would take, at least because at least here in Massachusetts, it's like a lot of stubborn people are here. So they're like, oh man, it's going to take them like 5-6 years to even do the job that I'm even doing right now, the quality of work I'm doing. I feel like that's a mindset thing. It's like maybe a bad mindset. I don't know, but maybe pride or anything like that. So I've seen it before where it's like,
there's a lot of things to that, right?
Yeah.
Which we can't uncover in a short time period. But the biggest thing, again, it's all goal oriented. So if you still want to be on the tools, nothing wrong with that. Hire a salesman.
that's
Literally
it.
hire an estimator, hire a salesman. Boom. There you go. You keep doing your craft. You just teach them your process, how much you want to charge for everything. Done. Now you just built your business, right? And that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing you have to just now look at, we teach leadership training, which is begin with the end in mind. Are you going to be able to do this in 40 years? If the answer is no, which we all know it is, let's be real, right? Like once you get to your 60s, 70s, 80s,
I ain't doing shit.
yeah, man, like I'm already in my 40s, like, nah, I ain't touching a brush, dude. Like, I'm good. Like, that's just where my mindset is, right? Same thing when I was doing the dojo. I was like, man, I got to stop taking my lickings, right? At the age of 28, the doctor said you had too many concussions. So like I had to make a decision then. Do I continue to fight or do I coach people? So I went into coaching.
And then that's how this all came about now.
It's the same thing in the trades, right?
Yeah.
Do I continue to be on the tools or do I start coaching? At the end of the day, you're going to have to lead people because you're going to have to pass it on. The question is, how soon do you want to pass it on? And I'm here today to tell you guys, I promise you, time goes by. That's one thing that's guaranteed for us. Time's going to go by no matter what, and we're all going to die at some point. So make a decision today and make that decision now so that you can build the business you want. And here's the thing, blue collars, we're not going nowhere. AI can do whatever it wants. We as craftsmen are not going anywhere, right? So I truly believe we're in a season right now that you should make a decision to start building your business. And I know it sounds crazy. Some people think I'm nuts when I tell them this. Did you know that 5% of the United States, only 5% of businesses in trades make it to 7 figures? 5%. And it's all because of a lack of thought, a lack of belief, and a lack of knowledge. That's it. Think about that, 5%. And I started getting in the coaching space. 19 out of 21 of my one-to-one students last year hit 7 figures for their first time ever.
Damn.
That's 90%. Think about that, right, guys?
That's
now,
different.
I don't say that for my accolades. I say that to open up your viewers' eyes that if we can do that in such a short time period, what's the difference? It's this.
Mindset,
It's
right?
the thought process.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's just
Thought process.
getting the mind to go, I'm making this decision today. That's why I love doing podcasts. I'm like, guys, like I've been coined the mindset coach in our space. Like I will cut through the bullshit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss if you guys don't have
No, cuss. Fuck
Okay,
it.
go. They're like, we cut through the bullshit, right? We want to interrupt that thought process. Like what we were told for generations in our families, because our fathers or grandfathers or whoever in our lives, they were great craftsmen too, right? But then what happened is that they had a limiting belief because of what they were told and they passed that on to us. All it is just being passed down. Well, why can't we shift that, especially today's day and age with the processes? And I mean, dude, you could YouTube half this shit. You can go to ChatGPT. It'll tell you the answer right now, right? That's why I love going on these pods to teach you guys like, hey, it's that easy. Make a decision today. Find the answer, execute, you'll win. It really is that easy. And especially if you know your trade. Dude, I know people that don't know nothing about trades and they're crushing their businesses. All because they're following a process. Isn't that wild?
That's
I'd
fucking
rather see
wild.
the guys on the tools winning than someone who just said, I feel like investing money in this and fuck it. I'm just going to run a business I've never done and win. No, I want to see you guys that are on tools busting your asses off, who love the trade, who can give that passion back to somebody else and their clientele, right? Because it's not about the money. It's about building something beautiful, right? Why can't you do that in your business? You could do the same thing. Teach your people, grow your business, bring this knowledge to the younger generation and still have value, and then give this to clients. Like, why would you not want that, right? So that's why I get tired when I hear these guys just trying to make money and they're burning clients. It pisses me off, right? It's like, this is why we do what we do. We're passionate about our people. We're passionate about what we do, right? So I just hope whoever's listening or watching today, that I could put a fire of passion into you, just like you were in your trade, to convert that into your business today.
Hey, so Joel's next job is going to be a sermon preacher. Dude, I've never felt more shifted. Dude, I literally was like, I was about to put both my hands up and be like, like,
Hallelujah.
I was ready. Hallelujah. Dude, that was moving. That was awesome. I fucking love that. Holy shit. Joel, you just, like, you
Hey
ever
man,
seen-
I come from passion. Man,
No, I
all
love that.
day,
You wear your
man.
heart on your sleeve.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I wear my heart on my
100%.
sleeve. I'm passionate. I'm passionate. I'm competitive. All that shit. So let's say this, right, Joel? You're training my cousin, right? You're training my cousin. Okay, he's an absolute dunk of a painter. Like,
Okay.
one of the best painters you ever seen in your life. Like, holy shit, you did this? Wow, that's fucking impressive. But he's allergic to sales. He's like, I don't want to touch that shit. He's like, so obviously the process is get a sales rep, get all that, right? But like, you're doing this call with him, like, you know, what do you say on the call? Like, what's the first like couple words? Like, oh, hey, like, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Obviously,
here's the play. You ready for this?
I know that.
I'm gonna break the play right here.
All right, go ahead.
It's quick and easy, guys. Here's the cool part. I'm gonna do the goals real quick, Raj. All right. So, what's your revenue goal for the year? I would start with that.
What if they never have like an exact answer though?
Okay, perfect. I would say, okay, are you trying to grow your business then? The answer is usually yes, right? So then I would go, okay, what's your fear about doing sales? Well, I just don't like it. I prefer just doing the job sites. And what I'm doing is I'm leading them to convince themselves on what they should be doing based off what they enjoy, not by what they don't want to do. That's my job as a coach, right? So if he identifies, this is your cousin that says, man, I just love painting. Great. So you should be the production manager. You should be only in production. And then you should hire sales reps. So we go back to that sales rep, right? And then once you build your sales rep, let's build the formula of how many jobs per week you need, what you need to sell, what you need to invest in marketing. We're going to build your business today. We would do a full audit, but I would tell him he should not do any sales at all because he's only going to hurt his business anyways. Because people can see that, right? Like when he goes to people's houses and tries to sell, if he's allergic to sales, they're going to see it on his face, dude. There's no way of running around from that, right? Super imperative. So I would tell them, hey, over time, get a sales rep, get this built up, and then turn into production management. And then start teaching your teams how to paint right, how to have the right cut lines, how to mask properly, create an internal process that continues the high quality of service. He'd find more enjoyment in that. He'll never burn out and he'll be able to grow his business. At the end of the day, you always want to hire people that know more than you, that can outwork you and grow your business for you. That's really the tools. And we need to let go of ego and allow them to do what they do best. So I have guys that are running sales and production, and I immediately identify they're horrible at sales. I go, dude, you should probably just stick to production, go hire sales reps. The moment they made that decision, their business 2X'd immediately because they removed themselves from the seat that they're not good at. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
So Joel, in your opinion, not every owner has to be good at sales. Like that's not like a no.
No, I know so many owners that suck at sales. And that's okay. But dude, are they great at production? Man, they're amazing at production, right? Like they can go to a job, identify something wrong immediately and fix it, or guide their guys even by the phone. Oh, like for you, right? Like if you guys are having a plumbing issue or whatever else you're in your trade, you can immediately tell me what to do over the phone, right? Whereas if I don't have that skill set, I'd be like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like you're gonna have to figure it out. Right? Like I'm just a sales guy. Well, then you should probably stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
the thing with like business owners is just too many hats, you know what I mean? But maybe they're just afraid of like making. So like, okay, perfect example, right? Let's say my cousin Manny, he's like, oh, hey, like, excellent painter. You know, he's hiring a sales rep and everything like that. But he's like, okay, we're having so many jobs. What's the hiring process now of like onboarding guys?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So
That's a scary thing because like you
it
gotta
is,
think
yeah.
about like, okay, never met these guys before in my life. You can obviously, you can probably hire family members, but how long would that last? You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
need,
yeah.
trying to find the most quality guys with great attitudes, no felonies, you know what I mean? No drug issues,
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of different things that we need
Yeah,
to like.
yeah, yeah.
So what's kind of like the hiring process of that shit? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'll start with production first, right? One thing that I learned from one of my mentors is that I always hired on the job site. I never sat at my office. I never had people come to my office because they play a different role. They act like something that they really aren't because they know they're doing an interview.
Mm.
So what we would do is an actual job site interview. So if a painter wanted to become a painter with me or a foreman or a helper of sorts, I would already be at a job site. There's two things why I did that. I was an acting owner and I was running production. What better than I'm already going to check on a job. If this dude doesn't show up, I didn't waste any time. I'm already at a job site checking on it anyways. So if he shows up, win. If he doesn't show up, win. It's all good because I'm actually not wasting time. So when they do show up, then I go, hey, let's say Joel, come on, take a look at this house. Tell me a little bit how you would mask these floors, or what do you see wrong with this room? I'm doing an on-site interview and trying to test their knowledge already. What would you do differently? Right? So when you bring them on board, now you can test their knowledge instead of doing a conventional BS interview, which everyone already knows what you're going to ask me. Am I a good person? Yes, of course I'm a good person. I'm the guy to hire, right? You're going to tell me what I need to hear on an interview, but you cannot bullshit a job site when you go to a job site and you can see someone's experience or not. They can't BS you because if you know your stuff, and they go there and they're like, well, I'm an advanced helper. Okay, awesome. What do you see wrong here? Well, we can tell if someone's rolling a wall wrong. We can tell if someone didn't cut 2 coats. We can tell if they didn't tape properly onto a baseboard. We're going to have bleed through onto the floors. Like, those are quick things for us as painters that we can identify quickly. So we would interview them that way. So that's one way to get quality people. The second thing I always teach is always hire people off personality and character. I really don't care about your experience. I can teach you experience. So we go back to what we first opened the podcast on, right? I said transfer skill. I'll never not say that. So I'd rather have someone that comes in who is just an amazing individual. I can tell their energy is great. They smile, the connection. Like painters look at them and they're like, Joel, that seems like a solid dude. They're part of the team. The culture's there. I teach you how to paint all day. I don't need you to be a painter. I need you to be a good person. How do you identify that? Well, are they going to bullshit me on the job interview, on a job site? If they say they don't have much experience and they show up and they're like, yeah, I really don't. I wouldn't even know where to start. Okay, great. At least they're being honest off the get, right? Now, if someone comes in, I can't tell you how many times in the beginning they're like, oh, I could spray. I can do this. Great. Let's go. They don't know what I'm going to do on the interview. I'm like, just meet me at this address, and it's at a job site. I'm like, great, spray out this wall right in front of me right now.
That's so fucking smart.
Think about
That's
that,
smart.
man.
Because
You're
you're kind
saving
of testing them at that point. You're really
100%.
testing them.
Now, here's the cool part. Earlier, I also said effective listening. So what people think sales is sales techniques and frameworks and all this bullshit that everybody's coaching as gurus online, blah, 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 right? Here's the reality. Ask more questions and watch people's body language. 80% of listening is what people do physically. 10% are the literal words coming out of their mouth. The other 10% is the oohs, the ahs, the sighs. So if I'm doing an interview and I'm watching this guy, you guys know when someone's BSing you. You can just watch it
You
on
can
their
tell.
body.
Yeah.
You don't need to be an expert. So why not do that on a job site? So that's what I teach on the interviewing process. Now, there's obviously like automations. There's like all different types of like interview ways of doing things. That's a whole nother process, right? But to keep it simple, guys, start interviewing on job sites, challenge the people on the job site, and then have your team. Here's the cool part too. Then my team, when they see me hiring other guys, they're like, oh shit, is someone getting fired? What happens? Productivity goes up. They're also watching, right? So there's so many facets of why I do it. Because again, I teach you guys psychology behind human behaviors. I do all of this on purpose because I get to see how does the interviewer go? How well do they interview? What's the culture like? Are my guys going to like them? Because if I already have a set team that are awesome and I get them to just kind of talk, sometimes I'll be like, hey, I got to take this call real quick. and I'll step away and let my team mess with them a little bit, right? Like, hey, come here, go grab this brush. Let's get on the ladder. Let's do this. My team already knows what I'm looking for. Then when they leave, I go, hey, what'd you think about him? Like, what did you like Alex? Right? Yeah, boss, he seemed really cool. I think he'd be a good fit. Okay, great. All they're doing is confirming what I already feel.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
all right. So I just have one question, Alex, and then you can go.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest question for me, right? Because I love that idea of like bringing them onto a job site and then just like kind of like, oh hey, you know what I mean? So, but what if, right? If the guy, if like let's say Timmy, we'll use Timmy as an example.
Yeah.
Timmy. Timmy, you tell Timmy to come to this job site. You're like, oh, hey, like, what's wrong with this like wall and everything like that? Oh yeah, X, Y, and Z. Oh, all right, you know how to spray? Oh yeah, I know how to spray. Like the body language is there, right? Body language is there. Everything is like that. He's like, all right, yeah, do it. And then they hit you with the, I'm not getting paid for it.
Field Pulse is the field service management software for field service pros like you. Whether you're a small business looking to grow or a large company ready to scale, it's got everything you need all in one platform. Advanced features for CRM, estimates and invoices, scheduling and dispatching, good, better, best proposals, maintenance plans, and price booking. Plus, Field Pulse integrates with software you're already using, like QuickBooks Online and Desktop, so you can hit the ground running without changing everything about how you work. By simplifying your day-to-day operations, FieldPulse saves you time, keeps your team organized, and gives you the tool to increase productivity and profitability. It's not just us saying this. FieldPulse has earned an average 4.8 star rating across nearly 600 reviews. To learn more, head over to fieldpulse.com. That's field, P-U-L-S-E, pulse.com.
Great. You're not the right fit.
And then you just move on.
Yeah. Next, you got to remember these things. Dude, this is the craziest thing. My wife told me the best thing ever, and I loved it. She hit me with this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. We're in a culture that we want to convince ourselves like, well, this dude did this, and this, right? But this last thing he didn't. And then we convince ourselves to still hire the person. My wife said it best. She said, well, if they show you who they are, believe them. They're going to show you even more when you hire them. So if they're like, well, I'm not getting paid for this, what happens every time that you have to do a change order or something happened that you need them for an extra hour? Do you want that team player with you or not? They already told me in the interview. So God bless you. Peace. Deuces. I'm looking for the next guy who's going to be a culture fit, because we all know in the trades, you got to do whatever it takes to get to the goal. There's sometimes we got to work an extra hour. There's sometimes we got to do an extra day. Sometimes we got to show up on Saturday. Like, are you on the team or not? Right. And if you keep interviewing these types of people, your business just gets stronger, because your core beliefs are immediately being shown in that interview. Do not sway from that. The moment you do, you negotiated with your standards. That's the problem in our trades too, because we're like, oh, I need this guy. No. You're choosing him because you are not built in strength. You got to stop building your business on weakness because you need somebody. No. You want to hire people because you want them, not because you need them. You put yourself in a bottleneck, and then you become another problem because you start making excuses for every problem they keep giving you. So again, that's why I like coaching leadership as well, because these are things we talk about. We go, what are your non-negotiables? If you guys that are listening today don't have any non-negotiables right now, get them today. I promise you that'll change your business for free right now on the call. I promise you, when people go, Joel, how do you know how to identify this? I'm like, dude, you know how many times I've been burned by contractors, man? I can't even tell you how often I get burned. So this is what I did. Non-negotiables. It's pretty simple. Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. If you drop a can of paint, I understand. We're in construction. Shit happens. If you broke the tile because you were on the roof, I get it. Just don't lie to me. We can fix everything else. But the moment you lie, we can't fix that. That's a personality trait. I can't fix that for you. That tells me who you are. So if I already know that in an interview and I don't want to build a business off that, you're gone. I don't need to think about it. I didn't even have to stress about it. I know my answer immediately. He just gave me the answer. So that's how I would identify that for you, brother.
Yeah. Man, I love that too, because it's not coming from a place of like neediness either. It's like, if this person's not a good fit right now, they're not going to become a good fit. I think sometimes people are in a position where they're like, but I need them. Like, I have all these jobs. I just kind of need to stick someone in there. But I think the problem is just like when you put that bad person in that role, It's just they're going to do more harm than good ultimately, right?
It spreads like a wildfire, brother, because they're going to be like, oh, can you believe they need me here for an extra hour, blah, blah, blah. And they start getting in people's heads and shit. Like, don't waste your time with those type of people. I promise you, there's great people out there. You just got to find them. Be patient. Because when you do that and you start building up, guess what? One crew can do more than what you had 3 shitty crews, right? Like one great crew will outwork 3 shitty crews. Think about that. So I stand on those beliefs and standards. That's a big thing for me.
And Joel, just as kind of like a sidebar to that, do you recommend like people kind of go like the hiring route, like for a W-2, or do you recommend like more of like a subcontractor sort of model, like in the beginning when they're kind of building it out?
Yeah, I've done both. I've created businesses with I start out with a W-9 start, right? Like that independent stuff just to save on taxes and start building up to build teams. And then I switched to the employee because, when you have subs, you can only control so much. And it depends on the trades and stuff like that and state, right? Because I'm in California. It's super hard to find subs that are actually licensed, bonded, and insured. So we have a lot of legalities we have to deal with out here. But like in Arizona, when I opened up a painting company, that was too easy. We just 1099 everybody. We're like, great, let's go. Again, it's really dependent. Notice how I said earlier today, everything I'm going to give you an answer to is depends on your business model, depends on what you're trying to achieve. I coach guys that, hey, always keep your core employees busy for the whole year. We do budget forecasting in the summertime, like every trade, it gets busy. So then hire subs for the summer so that the wintertime, when it slows down, you still have your core group of people that you trust, that you've built. You don't have to keep rehiring. That's a whole nother conversation, right? How do you build that? How do you predict those future numbers? That's why the business is super important to know those numbers.
Oh, sorry. I love that personally. I think a lot of especially upstart, companies that are just starting off, they're probably going to have to start in subs and then transitioning over to the onboarding. I think that's probably
100%.
the move, right? I'm assuming you saw a lot of that when you were coaching and everything like that.
100%. Yeah. So we call it the hybrid role where, your foundation of employees are always good to have. And then you can obviously move your subs from there.
Yep. Gotcha. All right. So go ahead, Alex.
No, I was gonna say, Joel, I love that, man. Like that really helps on kind of like the production side of things, like finding someone that's going to be good in the field to actually do the work. I think a lot of the guys that probably listen to this, like they might have more of a grasp on that aspect. What do you kind of recommend to them on like finding a good salesperson? Because a lot of them, I don't think they know much about sales or that whole world. So it's kind of hard to find someone for something that you don't necessarily know much about. Is there anything you can kind of speak to about that? Finding like a good person to help you out there?
Yeah. So listen to what you said, a good person. Again, even if they don't know the trade, I think a good person knows how to connect with people, right? So find good people that you can work with and go from there. So the biggest thing is now you got to remember, even if you hired a sales rep, they have poor habits for the most part, right? So in our industries, we call it feature dumping. A lot of people would go to someone's home and just start talking about product, services, all this stuff, and they didn't even ask them one thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say for plumbing, right? If someone comes into plumbing, I don't know nothing about plumbing, right? So let's role play that real fast. If someone comes into plumbing, into my home, and they didn't ask me what's the problem, right? And they didn't ask me what are the things that I'm trying to achieve? What am I trying to do, right? For all they might think I have a leak in my home, but I just want to replumb my whole house. What an opportunity. But they didn't ask the right questions. So how are they going to know that answer? And they're trying to sell me a service that doesn't even exist for me because I'm not asking for that because they haven't gotten there yet. So when it comes to sales, I always tell people you need to find someone that can connect, someone that's really good at conversation, someone that you feel that can connect with people. Because again, effective listening is what you're watching, is body language, right? Sales is easy, right? It's pretty simple. So let me walk in. Alex, what do you do for a living?
So I'm actually, I work for a GC company. I'm on the sales side of things.
Okay. So you're on the sales side of things. So in the GC, what do you sell?
So we build like ADUs, like multi-res, single family homes.
Awesome. Check this out, guys. Live on this call, we got a sales rep for a general contractor, one of the co-hosts, right? So are you cool with role playing with me real quick?
Let's do it.
Let's
Sounds
build
kinky.
some value.
Sounds kinky.
What's that? That's that role play.
No,
So-
let me just watch from the corner, please.
Yeah. Hey, you already got the tissues out too, man. You gotta be careful, bro. All right. So as you look
Yes,
at
sir.
sales rep, what are we looking for a sales rep? This is important. And make it really quick. Let's just do a quick 3-minute introduction, how you would walk in my home and what you would start talking about. And then I'm going to flip it. I know nothing about ADUs too. I'm going to take some of the information you're giving me. I'm going to redo it. I'm going to show you live on this call right now what you should be looking for a sales rep.
Sure.
Sound
So-
good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So you knocked on my door?
And we already
And-
we already kind of know each other, and this is like an appointment sort of thing.
Let's just have fun with it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're about to give me an estimate, man.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I knock on the door. Hey, Joel, how's it
Hello.
going?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just here to check out the property. I know you said you wanted an ADU in your backyard. Just kind of coming to check out the property, see what's got going on, and see what we can do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on back. Do you want to walk through the house or walk around?
We can walk around. Yeah, just because I got my boots on, I don't want to trudge any dirt or anything through there.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so this is going to be the backyard, exactly where we want to put the ADU.
Okay, perfect. And so, Joel, tell me, like, why were you thinking about an ADU? Do you know anyone that has them? What kind of like led you to like wanting one in the first place?
Yeah, being here in California, we don't have much space for a lot of things. So I just want to build another area for my guest and then also turn that into my office.
Oh, very good. So you're thinking more like family members or kind of like people who stay over the house. They'll have a little place to kind of like hang out and be away. And then for yourself, you'll kind of have like your little work office to kind of do some things back there. Okay. And so in terms of size, what were you kind of thinking? Like, I think for something like that, you think like maybe like a 1-bedroom, maybe like a little kitchen. Like what would like kind of the ideal space look like in there for you?
Yeah, so I'm kind of the both, right? Like they need a bathroom in there, they need a little kitchen. So someone that would live there for longer terms than a week, right? So I would want a shower, all that stuff, 1 bedroom, and then an offset section where I can have like my studio and my office set up together.
Okay, very cool, man. Very cool. So have you looked into like ADUs before at all in terms of like pricing or in terms of like style or any of that
No.
sort of stuff?
This is my first time ever.
First time? Okay, cool, man. Cool. So I can definitely kind of show you some of projects we've done before to kind of give you ideas as to kind of like where you could kind of go with this. Different, styles, especially here in California. There's a lot of, different areas have different kind of looks to them and all that sort of stuff. So I can definitely kind of show you some of that stuff on my iPad in terms of like design and stuff like that. But in a perfect world, Joel, you want to do the ADU. Is there kind of like a timeline on when you kind of like to have it built by, or like where's
Yeah.
that looking like?
I'm like wanting to get this done like yesterday. So yeah,
Like
that's
yesterday.
important to me.
Okay, very awesome. Yeah, very cool. So I can definitely kind of show you some projects and kind of tell you a little bit about the permitting process, because even if we started yesterday, there's like, we have to work with an architect, get permitting, all that sort of stuff situated. So I just kind of want to set the conditions for you. But it seems like you kind of know what you want. I can kind of show you some of the options that we have. And then if all that kind of looks right to you, then we kind of figure out, what kind of like grade you're looking for. If you're looking for like high-end finishes, medium finishes, kind of where you're at there, because that'll kind of dictate price a little bit.
Awesome. I love it. So we'll stop right there. So the cool part is, Alex, you're way past many people that I first start coaching with, because they literally like live on this call. Great job, man. Because most people would do the opposite. So I'm actually going to do the opposite of what most people sound like, because I didn't know you would come off like that. So great job, dude.
My bad. Sorry about that. I probably should have fucked
Great
up a little
job,
bit.
Alex. Great job.
No, that's a great job, man. In fact, I'm super happy to see you direct it the way you did. There's a few things that you said, right? Timeline. So you're already overcoming timeline objections so that you know exactly when to do it. You asked me what's ideal for me, and I told you exactly: studio, family, friends, guests, long terms. So now you're actually starting to get me to visualize what this space will look like. A lot of people fear talking about those questions because they don't really think about those things, right? So if we were on this long enough, I'm sure you would have already found out about my spouse. You would have done all these other objection handles before we even went to price, right? And then I think you did a phenomenal job. Most people would have been in here and just been like, hey, Alex, my name is Joel with GC blah, 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 ADUs. Looks like my notes state here that we're going to do an ADU. Is that correct? Great. Yes. Awesome. Well, just so you know, this is why we do this. We're 5-star rating. We're this, we're that, we're blah, blah, blah. They don't shut up, right? because they just keep talking about their business and themselves. Here's the cool part. What you did, you started asking me questions and then you educated me on your process. This is what fails most contractors is they don't ask enough questions. And then you want to drill down. The one thing I teach about psychology is drilling down. So if I would have given you more information as we would have been on this call a lot longer, you would have drilled down more, and I'm sure you would have, because it sounded like you were working your way to that. That's the other thing. Like when it comes to asking about my services and what I'm trying to achieve, I would have asked another question. You ready for this, Alex?
Let's
And
do it.
tell me why you think this is important.
Sure.
Oh, office. So like, Alex, do you work from home?
Sorry, is this still the
Just
GC
rock
thing?
with me. Yeah. Rock with me real
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Alex, you mentioned that you want to turn this ADU to an office. Do you work from home?
Yes, I do. I work from home.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. So are you currently working inside the house right now? Is it because you need more space, or tell me a little bit more about why you're trying to do that in the ADU?
Yeah, man. You know what it is? I have 2 kids and a wife. The kids are kind of young, so they're in the house making a bunch of noise. And I'm on like sales calls a lot at home, so it's kind of can be distracting. Kids coming in and out, a little bit of a loud environment, kind of gets like unprofessional sometimes. So sometimes I'll have to go to a coffee shop and that sort of thing. So I think having an ADU in the backyard would be kind of helpful to just create that space. I could kind of like, lock it up and just have a little bit of the quiet to be more professional and locked in.
Man, that sounds awesome. So it sounds like, as I'm listening to you, sounds like you're probably going to have a higher sales rate, isn't that?
I think so, man. I think being in the house, I'm a
Yeah.
little distracted for sure.
Yeah. So your sales is going to go up. You're going to have a little bit more clarity. And what I like to call flow state, when you have like your own space, right? You're going to feel a lot better about that. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think if
Guess
you're in
what
your
I'm
own
doing right
space,
there.
yeah, I love that.
What did I do there? What did I hit you with, Alex?
Well, I mean, you kind of drill down to like, hey, what's going on in your current space that you're kind of considering this other thing? Like, what's your why for doing it?
I pulled the pain. I'm hitting your emotions right now. So I pulled the pain, and then I made you imagine what's going to happen when you have the ADU. I have you closed before I even hit you with the price. Just off that framework I just did there, I have you locked in on imagine what it's going to be like when you have this ADU and your set rate's going to be higher. So you're closing more deals. You're in a flow state. You're going to be in this beautiful area. Like I just sold you on something that you might have not known if I didn't make you connect to the emotional side. See what I did there?
Yeah.
That's called drilling down. So don't skip those steps. I think you did a great job, but drill down with the same questions you have so that you can make me imagine the future when it's completed. Because I want you to assume the sale that, hey, I'm going with Alex, man. He got me feeling good about this studio. Let's get this thing going, right? So that's what you're wanting to look for in a salesperson, right? Notice, I can get you to laugh. I can get you to smile. That is all sales, right? Human connection. If you can look in that for someone, anyone that's watching us now, not listening, but watching our body language, notice Alex he's got a very chill demeanor about himself. But when I started talking to him and getting him talking, if we replay this video, watch how excited I got him about this ADU. Isn't that interesting?
Absolutely.
That's sales. Find someone that can get someone's emotional state changed. I promise you'll be highly successful in sales.
And I love that. How do you do that? How does someone because you've been doing it for a while? How does someone? How do they get the tools to do that?
Well, coaching, obviously. I got to train you, right? Like there's things that I pay attention to, but no different than fighting, right? When fighters used to come to me, they'd be like, oh, I want to learn the spinning hook, back kick, and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, let's look at your jab cross first. I need to pay attention to your basics so that we can work on your basics so you can do those extra things. Well, if someone doesn't look natural when they're talking to someone, I need to teach them how to naturally have a conversation, right? So what I do is, if you notice, I told you 80% of it is effective listening. You notice how I can change the tone? I can get you guys pumped and I can calm you guys back down. That's sales. That's effective listening. Listen to what I did. I just changed my tone, right? And then the whole time when I'm talking to you, I'm getting excited. Look what Alex does. He starts following my head nod and he's like, yeah, man. He sees my smile. He starts following my lead. And then I slow it back down and then I get you focused on exactly the project and whatever we're doing. And then I get you closed on the deal.
Damn, man, he's good.
This is high level sales we're talking today, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy shit.
Yeah. You guys are getting me pumped up. This is fun, guys.
I just had an out of body experience. Like I know when Alex gets really excited, And like I muted myself, and I just had to like sit back, and I'm like, dude, I know for a fact Alex is getting like super happy, super excited right now. You know what I mean? And like I could tell, but like Joel, you fucking crushed it, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
There was
Yeah.
there was a lot that asking questions, a whole. Dude, like I never thought. Well, I don't do sales, but like, dude, it's
Yeah.
so good to know this though. But even like guys who are starting out, like like a little context real quick.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, a journeyman plumber can run his own company, but as a sole proprietor, meaning nobody can work under him or anything like that. So you really need to hit home with the the project of of doing it, but also you have to hit home with the sales. You got to go to this person's house. You got to be like, okay, we got to do X, Y, and Z, but you can't be monotone about it. I think they're gonna learn a lot from this, right? Where it's like, oh, hey, like I can sound really excited, but then I calm myself down. I gotta learn that shit, by the way, too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always like excited. I can never just like, you know what I mean? So, dude, you opened my eyes. Fuck, buddy.
Good. Let's go.
Oh man. Pivoting does let's pivot to something else, right? Because we talked about it earlier on in the podcast. You had a paint company, you sold it, right? Let's get into that a little bit. Obviously, congratulations once again for selling that. That's a huge win for any business owner. But between us and everybody else that's going to be listening to this, why did you sell it? What was the real reason?
Yeah, and yeah, we're gonna get deep on that real quick. First of all, I have a partnership, so it's what you do in a partnership. You can either go outside sourcing, or you can sell your shares to your partners, and that's how the route you want to go typically, because that's what you usually get a partnership for, right?
Yep.
Is to sell your shares. So that's the first part of that. The second thing is I felt misaligned.
Okay.
I felt really misaligned in my partnership. True story is when you are so passionate about people, and then you have partners that are more passionate about money,
it doesn't line
you start
up.
To make poor decisions, right? So, and when I get on these podcasts, I'm very careful on how I speak about character and stuff like that, but I'm really big on leadership. So every decision I make is based off principles. The moment I feel like the principles are changing is the moment I exit any kind of relationship of principle. So I'm a very principle leader type person. So if I feel like you're not aligned with me, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to work with you. I want to move forward. And I feel like I've been able to achieve the things in my life due to being leader-based principle, right? So it's called principle-centered leadership. So that was the main reason. Most people in my industry that sell is just because they just need the money and they want to go on to the next venture and they're trying to retire. If the tables were turned and we were all within alignment, I'd still be there, because I thoroughly enjoyed coaching my teams, building my teams. I've had the same guys for the last 7 years. I've retained a high level of employees with me. So I miss them, right? I love those guys. They're super awesome. We've been to war, right? Because we work neck and neck, and it's kind of hard to say goodbye to that, right?
Yeah.
So now I got to trust these owners are going to take care of my guys that I built for the last 7 years. So that was my reason why I left. But typically in the industry, you want to get into a blue collar space, build up your business, right? I always say, give it 5 years, give it a good solid 5 years of showing profitability and business, and then go ahead and sell that thing, man. Make the money that you're trying to make so that you can either retire or invest that into other things, which would be now real estate. A lot of guys don't really educate themselves in that. And I think where we build wealth is building our businesses in the blue collar space and using that money to now reinvest in real estate to become wealthy. So that's like the next level, from sell your business from blue collar to now getting into rentals and real estate and property that way. That's where the actual wealth comes, to be honest.
And you said something like if a business owner wants to sell within 5 years, it's a two-part question. 5 years, is that kind of like the sweet spot, if they like the minimum, or is there like is there a sweet spot really? Is there any really real sweet spot?
I don't think there really is one, right? Because I know people that have had their business for 30 years and they're just now about to exit. I know people that bought their business 2 years ago and they're like, Joel, how do I exit this thing as quickly as possible? So it's all goal oriented.
Yep.
What I've noticed though is that need at least 3 years of great profitability for it to even look sexy for a buyer, right?
Gotcha.
So that's why I say 5 years. Year 1 and 2 should be your process building, branding, getting things going. You're going to eat shit. It's just the reality of it. Don't come into this thinking it's going to be perfect. It's not, right? So I'm just being real. And then year 3, 4, and 5, you start showing your profitability. You start building your teams up really well. That way, when you exit, it's not like everything's on you. You trained your teams to be ready for the sales so that whoever takes over now is going to be really happy because they don't have to do much except inject money on marketing and keep building the business from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if a listener that owns a business, he's like, okay, I want to sell within 5 years. You know what I mean? He's, following your pretty much the process that you were talking about. What's the first 3 things that they should really start building this week, or just
Yeah.
maybe as soon as possible?
100%. If you don't have a CRM, get a CRM as quickly as possible because you need to track all that data so that you could see all the metrics so that they know where your business is going and how it's succeeding. So CRM, and I always say this order of business: CRM, office, sales. Those are your 3 first most important things to get. And in that order: CRM, office, sales. And when I mean office, I don't mean a brick and mortar office. I mean a VA or administrative person to run your numbers, call your people back, speed the lead, and start growing it that way. Those are my first 3 things I would tell you. Yeah.
Alex, you want to interject? I know that you're muted over there.
No, sorry. I was just well, my house is like right on the main road, so sometimes I like to mute it just so like the sound of cars and shit aren't coming by.
You're good. No worries.
Oh,
good.
man. Let's see. Before we wrap this up, Joel, we want to thank you again for your time.
Yeah, man.
You've been an absolute dog. And what we do on this podcast, right? We at the end of it, we always do like 10 random questions. Okay.
Sure. Let's do it.
Completely random. You know what I mean? Something to do with the business, but then something about you. You know what I mean? But we're here for the vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do this. What is the most unhinged client request you've ever gotten? And did you say yes to it?
Oh, I gotta dig deep now. Okay. Okay, I love this. What is the most unhinged client request? Okay, in my space, I would say, and here's the cool part: I've had some weird things happen for this specific question. I would say a client. Okay, so cut lines are important, right?
Yes.
So like, what I try to educating my people and my estimators is to understand when you have texture on ceilings and textures on wall, your lines are not going to be perfect. It's inevitable. So we were at the end of the project and she asked me to tape her I think it was like 4,000 to 5,000 square foot home.
Wow.
It was an interior. She wanted me to retape her ceiling, her walls, caulk it, and fix all the all of the cut lines throughout the whole house at no cost. And I said no. So, and fast forward, it may not sound crazy, but as a painter, at the end of the project, to be hit with that and to be telling her, well, it's texture with texture. There's no way we're going to have straight lines. It's just the way the texturing is based off your ceiling and your walls, right? We can't give you a straight line like that. She was like, well, how can you do it? We're like, the best thing we could do technically would be taping and caulking and then removing the caulking, kind of almost like an accent wall, right?
Yeah.
And that would be additional cost. If you want that way, we could try it, see how that looks. She's like, no, I expect you guys to do that. So we said no. We didn't get paid either for our final walkthrough. So then we ended up doing a lien on her home and she ended up paying us at the end. So that was the story for that one.
Damn. Go fuck with Joe.
Yeah. No, we're not working.
God, that's funny. What you personally, what's your most toxic work habit that you swear is a part of your process?
What's my most toxic
habit?
Ooh.
That you swear that is part of your process.
That's part of my process.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't think you would have one, right? Or maybe you do.
When I was painting, I would say my habit at that time was really just, and which isn't that bad. It's not toxic. I don't think. So it's like, I might be boring for your viewers now at this point.
No, it's all
But
good.
for me, I would say a habit that I always did. I always had a speaker on my actual loop. Those clip speakers. If I had no music, I was the most unproductive person you've ever met. I've always played music at all job sites.
So you need
I
music.
had to have music all the time. And I always had to wear a hoodie. Didn't matter if it was summertime, 120 degrees out or not. When I'm spraying homes, I always had to have a hoodie. I always had to have that speaker clip on me. The music's what motivated me to get through the day. So that was my thing. I always felt like if I didn't have that, that would make me not produce properly.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Music is such a I think music, especially at job sites, I think you kind of need music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. I forgot my AirPods today, and I'm like, dude, time is dragging ass right now, man.
Yeah, it'll derail you, man.
Oh, dude, I didn't do shit today. What's the worst outfit you ever worn to a job or a meeting or an estimate and realized that it was too late? Did you wear like a Dumb and Dumber type shit, like the suit? Or do you keep it clean, like black tee, black jeans? You know what I mean?
Always wore like a black. If I was managing, I always wore all black. So I wore black polos, black shirts. So that was kind of hard to not do. I did wear at one point in the summertime. I didn't realize how small these shorts would be, but we always wear like painter pants and stuff, right? So I'm a size 32 in waist, and I didn't realize they ran smaller. So when I got into painting, I'm wearing these whites, right? And it looked like I was wearing like booty shorts almost for men, dude. Like they were wild. So my crews were just making fun of me. They're like, "Nice legs, boss." I'm like, "Shut up, man." Like,
That's
never
funny.
again did I wear shorts at a job site. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, that's
funny. Yeah.
If you had to start over tomorrow with only $500 and a phone, what's your first 7 days look like?
$500 in a phone. I would use the $500 immediately. I would hire either Angie's Leads or Thumbtack. I would immediately put $500 into a lead gen that does not cost me a retainer. And with my cell phone, I would be cold calling other businesses. So I would start with contractors first. So I would start calling contractors saying, "Hey, can you put me on your vendor list? I'm a painter. I'm looking for some work. If there's anything I can do for you to help you out, estimate it. I'd be more than happy to help you." And then I would door knock. And then I would build probably that first week. I'd probably do about $7,000 in sales.
Damn, that's high confidence as fuck.
Holy
too.
shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't stop until I got that. So that's for sure.
I like that. Now,
Yeah.
I'm just I know this is like lightning round, but I just want to branch off with that phone. You want to make content.
Oh, I would make content for
You
sure.
would make
Yeah,
content.
absolutely.
Okay.
With
all right.
today's day and age, I would act like I would be at a job site. I would knock on someone's house. I'd probably paint their house for free just so I had content. So in the meantime, while I'm not door knocking and doing stuff, maybe on the weekend, I would do something for free so I had content so it looked like I was busy. Because you got to remember, perception's everything.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's also a key thing too. Is like not a lot of people kind of take advantage of. It's like, we had a guest on a while ago. His name is Doug Mitchell. He's out of Texas, and he has a power washing company. And what his I guess like his
Strategy. Yeah.
strategy. Thank you. His strategy was he would go to the person's house that he would go do the work for. After it was complete or before it was complete, he'd knock on every single door in the neighborhood. Be like, "Oh, hey,"
100%.
like, you know what I mean? So I think that's that's a big game changer strategy.
Till this day, we still do that, right? So like before I left, what my painters do is at whatever job site they're at, they have to canvas 10 homes to the left, 10 homes to the right at every single job site, just to have some canvassing going, and we're still putting our name out there. That's a part of our requirement for us, even till this day.
I like that. I like
Mhm.
that. That's big time. What's the truth about building a great team that nobody wants to hear?
Let go of your ego.
Ooh, I
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, ego. You got to let go of your ego and teach. Because the guys tell me all the time, "Well, what if I teach them everything? They open up their own business." I go, "Okay. What if you teach them everything and they fucking crush it for you in your business?" And they go, touche. We can go both sides if you want.
Let's see. I'll give you one more. What's what's one habit that made you personally, a better human being, a better human, excuse me, and accidentally made you more money too?
um, this one's deep. I'll tell you what, I stopped avoiding my fears. And what do I mean by that? So this is where the psychology will go by behind it is, especially us in the trades, we tend to do what? We tend to drink, we tend to
Yes.
smoke, we tend to use substance to get rid of the stresses, and that's a human trait, right? That's not just a trade trait, but it's just common in our trait because of what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I lowered down the drinking consumption. I used to when I was running my business when I first started and I was still on the tools. This was during COVID. I was still drinking 8-9 beers a night easily. And that was like a thing that I just did. When I started confronting how I felt about my stresses and I stopped drinking as much, now I don't drink at all. But at that time, when I started lowering the consumption, I actually started seeing clearer. I started going to the gym. I started eating cleaner. I started feeling better. My confidence level went up. And then naturally, I started making more money because my team would see me less stressed. So then what do? They're producing. And then they want to ask me questions like, what are you doing differently? Oh, I'm not drinking right now, or I'm not drinking as much and I'm eating better. Then they started following the leader. So it's a natural cause and effect. When you become better at self, everything else gets better around you. It's just that simple.
Love that.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I
That's
fucking
good.
love that. All right, Joel. This is the end. This is the part where me and Alex kind of give you the floor.
Yeah.
You can put any plugs, anything you want to do. The floor is yours, buddy. Say whatever you need to say.
Honestly, I appreciate that. I try not to sell nothing. I really genuinely love helping people out. So if you can find me on Joel Mercado Official on Instagram, doesn't matter what trade you're in, send me a message. I promise you, I will always get back to you. I will always send you a voice recording. I got guys that don't even coach with me. I give them the play, I give them the formula. I just want you guys to win, whatever it takes, because I've been there where I was struggling. I almost quit. I almost left my business. I never want to see this for anybody ever, right? So I say that, and then I'll leave you with one quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. I always say, if you strive to be 1% better each day, at the end of 100 days, you're 100% better than when you first started. So there's 365 days in a year. So imagine that. We look so far of trying to change so many things at once. If you just do one thing better each day, at the end of the year, you're 300x return on yourself. Dude, imagine what that's going to do in your business, your relationships, and to yourself. I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you for blessing me and allowing me to be on your podcast today. Let's keep rocking.
That's a mic drop, brother. Thank you
That's
so
a mic-
much.
I hear the car alarm in the back of Alex's window, so I'm like, all right, that's probably our time to. But Joel, Alex, before I go, I'm sorry, the floor is also yours, buddy. If you would like to say anything.
Nothing on me, man. Joel, just thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for dropping wisdom for these people. Thanks for role playing. We've never done that on the show before. So I think that people are going to get a lot of value out of that. But yeah, man, thanks just for showing up. I also just want to say, I listened to a lot of your podcasts with Aiden. I've gotten a lot out of it. I love your mindset. I love the way you think about things. I love the way you see the world. It's helped me a lot personally. And I know this episode's going to help our viewers. So thanks so much for coming on, brother.
Thank you, guys. That means the world to me.
Joel, my final words is, brother, you're an absolute dog. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast today, dropping absolute knowledge. And I'm also a fan of you and Aiden's podcast as well. I love your podcast episodes. I've listened to 3 so far today, and I've literally learned like at least like 15 pages worth of stuff. I was like, I don't have it with me, but I have a notebook, and I was just like, yeah, just keep it going. But I love your energy. You have an aura about you, man, that I hope one day I could just get to that level. And I know, and I might re-listen to this podcast 2-3 times over. But I hope one day I get to that level, brother. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it. This has been the Built to Rise podcast. I'm Tiago. That's Alex. That's Joel Mercado. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.